Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, all of you, for joining this webinar. Today, the topic of the webinar is elevate your omnichannel strategy with BigCommerce. Basically, this webinar is a new solution that has been, introduced by BigCommerce, which just completely, focuses on your omnichannel strategy. And we would be deep diving further into what the solution is and how it's going to help you out in, growing your business online through these strategies. Uh, Next slide, please. So, so if I talk about the speakers for this webinar, right now we have Jenna Gallardi, who is the Senior Omnichannel Growth Manager. We have Shraddha Naik, who is a business analyst at Royal Cyber. We also have Ranjit Kumar, who is the Senior Software Engineer at Royal Cyber. If I give a quick introduction about Jenna, Jenna is one of has a decade-long experience in helping businesses grow online. She has also worked in top digital marketing agencies and is recognized as 1% of top Google partners and top 3% of all Meta partners. And she has like the most published case studies on Facebook and Instagram. If I talk about her current role, she works as a senior omnichannel growth manager. She leads the consultation arm of BigCommerce, focusing on helping merchants strengthen their online presence and adopt social commerce, marketplaces, and product field optimization solutions to scale their growth. Jana is proud to be strategic resource to her customers and partners. This omnichannel uh, this omnichannel consultation practice is completely complementary to you. So please feel free to utilize her as a resource. And thank you so much, Jenna, for joining in today's webinar and helping us out, speaking on today's webinar. If I talk about today's agenda, so Royal Cyber, I'm going to give you a quick overview about Royal Cyber. I'm going to talk about the overview about Omnichannel. There are benefits of BigCommerce Omnichannel services that we are going to be presenting. Challenge faced by businesses, the omnichannel opportunity that you guys can utilize, omnichannel personalities by BigCommerce, insights and solutions by type, success texts and stories, how Royal Cyber can help you out with your omnichannel strategy, and if there are any Q&A, question and answers that you might have in the end, you can just put them in the chat and we can help you out in answering those questions. A little overview about Royal Cyber. I mean, we are based out of all of the major continents which are out there. Our head office is in Naperville, Illinois, in USA. We have an office and presence in Canada and Mexico. We have presence in UK as well. Our development centers are out there in Pakistan and India. We have around 3 offices in India, 3 offices in Pakistan. We have a big office in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. We have presence in South Africa, and then we cover the entire ANZ region through our office in Australia. We've been part of IT consultancy and services business since the last 20 years. We started off in 2002, and since then we've grown leaps and bounds. We have around like 1,200 plus employees, which are present on site and offshore. And we try to make sure that we keep on growing year on year in terms of employee growth, and we try to make sure that we provide them with the best of knowledge. That's why we have around like 500 plus certified consultants across tech stacks. And the major part of our success is our customers. We have around like 600 plus customers that are present all over the globe, and we try to ensure that we provide them with the best of services. If I talk about awards and recognitions, we've been considered as one of the top employees out there in the US market. Even presently this year, we were considered as one of the top employees. The tech partnerships that we talk about, I mean, we've been glad to work very closely with BigCommerce, and as a result, we are giving this webinar today. We have like gold partnerships with IBM and Microsoft. We have also Salesforce and SAP Hybris. So we work across tech stacks, and we are proud to ensure that we provide the best level of services across these technologies as well. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a little bit of overview. I'll hand over this to Shraddha, who will be deep diving further into the omnichannel overview. And yeah, over to you, Shraddha. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ibrahim. Hi, everyone. This is Ranjit from Royal Cyber. Now let's get into the topic overview of Omnichannel. Earlier, traditional approach totally disconnect with each mode having their own management and touch point. Now, the modern Omnichannel was the game changer. The key difference between traditional and modern businesses, modern businesses are able to create a smooth shopping experience that sales across sales and marketing channel. Omnichannel refers to a sales approach that uses multiple channels to reach customers and provided them with an excellent shopping experience. It covers all the way brands and customers interact with each other. Whether the customer is shopping at a physical store or by a mobile device or laptop or PC, an omni-channel approach is designed to make shopping as smooth as possible. It means the end-to-end process from distribution and promotion to communication and sales. These are all well integrated. You can sell anywhere and everywhere using BigCommerce omnichannel approach by creating a seamless experience across all sales and marketing channels. Let's understand how omnichannel marketing works. No, can you go to the previous slide, please? Yeah, thank you. An omnichannel strategy connects all companies' touchpoints, such as a physical store, social media, web page, email, and online stores. Customer can move between all these channels seamlessly. The seamless integration of branding, messaging, online and offline connections as customers move down the sales funnels allows for more impactful customer experience. Nowadays, there are multiple ways for customers and brands to interact with each other, which could be through social media, email, website, or by calling a call center employee. When you have so many different channels in place, it's critical that the data from each of them be integrated and made available in dependable manner. This is when omnichannel communication enters the picture. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. Omnichannel commerce. Let's see how that's work. Customers experts a personalized experience at every channel. Today, customers don't just want a quality product. They want them quickly and to be able to get information about the product quickly. They want to visit the website and search for product easily. They can easily compare the prices and see the recommendations. Omnichannels includes mobile website and apps, email marketing, text messages, social medias, e-commerce marketplace, point of sale integration, and inventory management. In omnichannel, a retailer is able to sell its entire product range and stock in both online and offline at the same time. Having integrated an online and offline channels, a omni-channel retailer is able to provide multiple ways for their customer to shop from them. The options includes buy online, deliver to home, buy online, pick up in store, buy online, return in store, buy online, in store, ship from store. For example, a customer service representative interact with a customer in a store can be immediately refers the customer previous purchases and preferences as easy as a customer service representative on the phone or a customer service website. Or the customer can use their desktop computer to check inventory, buy store a computer's websites, buy the item later with a mobile or laptop, and pick it up at a chosen location. Yep. Next slide, please. Yep. Customer experience is a journey from the point it starts and how it's ends. It's all about giving an amazing experience at every point of journey. Let's dive deeper. Omnichannel commerce create a seamless connection between various channels by providing a unified shopping experience through all touch points. Whether a customer is reading a product review or browsing a brand on social media or visiting the physical store. This will be helpful much more personalized shopping experience, showcasing no difference between online or physical stores. This picture is one of the example of omnichannel customers journey. The customer is able to complete a transaction after using different channels for each step. For example, a customer can add a product to the shopping cart through offer email. The same customer can compare the product and prices on the website, and then he can place the order. Using the functions like store locator, a customer can go buy a product physically in store, and he can buy a product on the online and deliver at home. Once he receives the product, he can write a review about that product, which will be helpful for other customers. In case the customer doesn't like a purchased product, he can return the product. The delivery boy will pick it back, or the customer can go to the physical store to return the product. Yeah. Let's connect with Royal Cyber and let us help you in build unique customer experience for your customer throughout the journey with you. Yep. Next slide, please. Explore the five main customer journey phase and what customers need to know in each one. Awareness phase. Most prospectively, customers start at the awareness phase where a user has a problem or need and looking for an answer at this point. Customer most likely educational content about the service that could solve their problem. After awareness phase, we have a consideration phase. During this consideration phase, customer compares one organization offering its competitor that could solve their problem. And the next one is a purchase phase. The first two phase weight heavily on marketing team. In purchase phase, customer decides and purchase a product or service from a certain organization. After this, we have a redemption phase. The last two phases of the customer journey happen at post sale. In the redemption phase, organization can implement a loyalty program or knowledge-based FAQ and regular communicate company or product advertisement to the customer. And the next one is a advocacy phase. This is the final phase of the customer journey. Customer advocacy comes after a great customer experience. Then the customer might advocate for the company and product to the other people. I hope you understand how business strategies are evolved. Now, my colleague Sata will explain how this will benefit your business. Over to you, Sata.
Thanks, Ranjit, for taking us through the nuances of omnichannel. Firstly, now let's discuss the business challenges faced by the businesses while implementing omnichannel marketing strategy. Let's get started. Now we are going to discuss about some major business challenges faced by the merchants while giving omnichannel experiences. Modern day businesses have modern day challenges. They face challenges of missing out on opportunities to communicate with the customers. And even if they are able to communicate, the issue of delivering the right message at the right time haunts them. This leads to fear of not being able to effectively engage and maintain customer conversation, due to which meaningful personalization experience for customers is lacking behind. Also, in this ever-changing competitive business, proactive marketing and marketing automation is a dream many a times. And even with lot of efforts, businesses never experience the benefit of the automation of marketing. Next slide. So what is the solution for all these things? The one-stop solution is a BigCommerce Omnichannel. BigCommerce Omnichannel platform will help you to overcome all these challenges. Before understanding BigCommerce Omnichannel strategy, let's explore some benefits of the Omnichannel marketing strategy. Let's first take a look at various benefits merchants will get for their businesses if they implement omnichannel marketing strategy. Omnichannel will be able to enhance its customer value as everything revolves around the customer. Omnichannel strategy puts customers as a priority, resulting in customer lifetime value. A customer-centric approach and a marketing strategy around customer centricity give the merchants the much needed reach across new customer segment. With customer-centric marketing strategy, the businesses ought to increase its sales and in turn revenue and profits. As the customer base increases, sales and revenue too increases, which makes it imperative to have a robust back-end operational efficiency and operational excellence without any cost escalations. Omnichannel marketing strategy provides the best-in-class total cost of ownership and return on investment. Streamline complex operations by maintaining all touch points at the single dashboard of BigCommerce Omnichannel. Last and the most important backend function is inventory management, and with the growing business, it becomes the single most critical success factor and have to be managed well. After looking at the benefit of omnichannel, after looking at the benefits of omnichannel provides to the merchant, it is a time we explore some of the advantage from the customer perspectives. We live in the world of options, and the customer is always looking for options. There are n number of brands, businesses who are ready to provide that. What if we are able to satisfy the customer with the effective customer communication and engagement in a seamless manner? Wouldn't it provide a customer delight? Definitely it will. Omnichannel provides a unified way of communicating through different channels with tight data integration at the backend, which in turn save the time for the customer as it provides fastest response times and enables self-service for the customer. Once the customers get comfortable and spend enough time browsing through and looking for options, the trust factor instinctively gets built, which leads to customer retention and the trust. Next slide, please. So this is in short about the benefits which we get if we implement omni-channel strategies. Now I'll hand over the forum to our omni-channel expert Jenna from BigCommerce side. Over to you, Jenna.
Thank you. So you want to go to the next slide. We all know as consumers and merchants that it's no longer should we be selling on multiple channels, it's what channels are the best for me. How do I determine through that maturity curve, should I be selling direct to consumer? Should I start with Google Shopping? Should I look into social commerce? Merchants that have a really great omni-channel strategy typically are seeing the majority of their sales happen actually off-site. So a lot of times merchants might be searching for products and educating themselves looking on Google Shopping, but they might be checking out and having more purchase intent, let's say to go to Amazon because they know their payment information is loaded, their shipping information is loaded, they're probably going to get the product in about 2 to 4 days. So that experience for consumers is changing on how they're touching with your brand. We heard earlier that, typically there's multiple touches with a brand. It's very rare that someone's going to see an ad for a product they've never heard of before and they're going to purchase it on that first view. So it's imperative that as merchants, you guys ensure that you have your brands available in as many different channels as possible. With COVID really accelerating kind of how merchants and consumers are interacting online, you'll see these kind of walled privacy gardens where as this iOS update that happened a few years ago, people are really trying to keep a consumer on a specific channel so they can really track that purchase, right? Because if you're, let's say, seeing an ad on social media and then you click off to the consumer website, a lot of times you're missing that tracking information. So these kind of lines are blurred. Amazon is known as being a great marketplace, but they're also now advertising on Facebook and Instagram, which used to be ad platforms. Now you can check out on Instagram and on Facebook. So it's kind of blurring where the seamless integration is. So at BigCommerce, we want to ensure that we're not only giving our merchants the ability to have the most beautiful branded stores with the tech stack that they need to support their business and fulfill their orders, but also that they have the best connections to all these different omni channels to make that experience really seamless and easier to manage. As consumers, we know it's probably only a couple of things we're looking for when we're shopping. Is this the product that I want? Is this product available? When is it going to be delivered and how much does it cost? But as merchants, we know that's much more complex to be able to deliver that accurate information to a consumer. Some of the things we need to think about is your product catalog. Is it optimized for the channel that you're sending it to? You shouldn't be sending your same blanket product data to every different channel. Every channel is going to have a different categorization taxonomy. Every channel is going to have different character limits. They're going to have different requirements that are necessary in order to have your products listed. If a merchant's coming back to your third-party site to check out, do you have a pixel and a signal to understand how they found you and what channels they're coming from that is leading to that conversion? Do you have your payments, tax, fraud, inventory management, et cetera, et cetera? So we know from the back end, there's much more complex to be able to deliver that information to consumers so that they know if that's the product that they want, when is it going to be delivered, and how much does it cost. Merchants want to be able to sell more products, right? I think everybody that is selling something online wants to be able to sell more of it, whether they're looking to expand into different geographical areas or they're looking to add additional channels to their omni-channel strategy. So by utilizing BigCommerce and Feedonomics, merchants are able to accelerate that growth much faster and drive better channel performance. If you're sending better data to those different channels, whether that be advertising, social commerce, or marketplaces, you're going to get better return on your ad spend. You're going to get enhanced views. You're going to get more clicks. You're going to show up in more searches. You're going to get more traffic potentially to your site, which is going to lead to higher conversions and potentially more GMV, higher average order value, etc. Now, when we look at merchants, we're not all created equal. So you might be in this build stage where you're going direct to consumer. Maybe you just have Facebook ads that are coming to your site, or you just have Google Shopping ads that are coming back to your site for purchase. Now, being in that single channel doesn't mean necessarily that you're small. It might just mean that your business isn't as complex. And as you start to add more additional channels, maybe you start looking into different geographical areas that you can expand to, it starts to get much more complex into how you're managing those orders, how you're processing those orders. Now, when merchants are trying to figure out what channels are the right fit for them, what channels are they going to get the best return from, they look at a couple of different things. Is it a small business? Is it an enterprise business? Or do you have a small catalog of SKUs? Do you have a large catalog? Large, I would say, would probably be 1,000 SKUs or higher. Do you hold your own inventory, or do you have a drop shipper model? Are you only selling the brand that you manufacture, or are you selling multi-brands? So as you start to look at what are these different ways that you can develop your omni-channel strategy based on your maturity, you start to see what are those different traits, and it almost starts to look kind of like a personality test. So as we start to apply this personality test, what is your omni-channel personality for your specific business? Not every business is created equal, and we're going to start to see different insights and similarities. So as you, let's say, if you're just starting out and you're looking at other businesses to see, is this something that I want to emulate? It might not be the same type of personality. So it might not be the same channels that you should be on or the same tactics in those channels. So let's look at what this grid could potentially look like. So let's say you are a small business, you hold your own inventory, and you're a multi-brand. As you can start to see, based on these different strategies and tactics and descriptors of your business, you start to see what are those different merchant models. So let's dig into some of these a little bit deeper. So we started to come up with some different omni-channel personalities that are going to make it much easier for you guys as merchants to determine what are the right channels for me and what are those tactics on those channels that are going to give me the best results. So when you start to look at those different categories that we talked about, whether they're small or enterprise, small catalog, large catalog, hold inventory, no inventory, you'll start to see what are those omni-channel personalities for you. So we actually have a really wonderful quiz where you guys can go and answer a couple questions, and it's going to spit out what your business's omni-channel personality is and give you what are the channels that you recommend, what are those tactics that you guys should be implementing on those specific channels. So it's almost like a little mini cheat sheet with your personality to understand where your business should be growing and what are the next channels you should be adapting as you start to mature. So this is the Omnichannel Personalities by BigCommerce. So if you guys are interested in finding out what your personality is, we can throw a link in here so you guys can visit and you can answer a couple of questions and see where your business falls within these different omnichannel personalities. We've broken it down to 16 that I think are really easy to understand and to comprehend, but also really easy to then implement for your business as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is a Cool Kids CBG. So it's an enterprise business. It has a large catalog. It holds their own inventory, and they only sell their own brands. They're not selling multi-brands. So that kind of merchant is going to have a really strong brand team. They're really focusing on marketing and awareness because they're just focused on their specific brand. So how can they start to take that brand and get better return on investment? How do they start to emulate and project that brand into different channels? What we'd recommend is you're probably going direct to consumer. You might have a wholesale component where you're maybe selling your products to either other marketplaces or to other people that hold more brands on their channel, let's say like a Target, Walmart, etc. How can you expand internationally and take kind of that message and figure out if you're working really great in this one geography, where are there other geographies either around your country or in different countries that have a similar makeup and model that you know you're going to be success based on your previous experience. It's really important that you're going to have the best feed management. So that's making sure that when you're sending your product data to a specific channel, it's going to be optimized for that channel. And we'll show you some examples of specific brands that have done some of these personalities. So a niche boutique, let's say they are a smaller business, so they're really focused maybe on a smaller geography. They have a large catalog, they hold the inventory, but it's multiple brands, right? So they are not manufacturing the products. They are there to be a curation of selecting the right SKUs from the right brand based on their clientele and what they know that they're interested in. So they're really kind of known as those tastemakers in the industry. So how do you take online and offline and combine them? So as a perfect example, I was looking for a dress for my daughter. She had an event to go to, and her brother had just ruined her dress, and we needed it immediately because it was for the next day. Didn't have the time even for Amazon and 2-day shipping. I needed to look online to see if they had a dress, if it was near me, and if I could pick it up in curbside. So in a model like a niche boutique, it's how can you connect your inventory, your ERP, however you're managing, and maybe your brick and mortar store, and connect that online so people can view online, know that it's available, potentially purchase it, and then come and pick it up curbside or walk into the store to pick it up. They don't want to know that you have it online, but then you're not managing your inventory and it's sold before they get to the store because someone else came there first to purchase it. They want to be able to show what does that product look like. So I might be looking for a blazer in a store, but maybe a niche boutique is showing me how I can style it with other items. So maybe I came in looking for a blazer, but I'm coming out with a full outfit because they are taking that curation and those products to the next level to be able to increase their average order value and make a better connection based on who their merchants are. Do they understand different holidays? When are the triggers for me to then potentially get more products? How can they tie their marketing tech into that omni-channel strategy as well? So maybe someone's coming for one thing, but how do you keep that lifetime value? How do you keep them coming back and purchasing for more? There's a lot of live selling that's going on that's starting to come finally to the States. That's been very popular in other countries. There's a lot of CRM and loyalty components on the back end of that MarTech that can help extend that average order value for merchants and that lifetime value. So for a big box store, so this is, think of your large department store anchors at a mall, right? They have really large brick and mortar stores. They carry a lot of different brands. They have a really large SKU count because they're holding so many other brands of inventory. So they should be dominating search, right? Because they have so much products, they have so many pages. They probably have a really great budget to be able to have a really great marketing strategy around their organic search. But again, what's that online offline experience? If somebody wants to go to the store, but they don't want to have to go to 17 stores to figure out if they can find something that they're looking for, they probably want to be able to browse ahead of time, know that they have that product in the size that they want, it's available near them, and that they can come maybe try it on before they purchase it and come home, or purchase it and come home and try it on. So there's a lot that they can do to be able to connect that on and offline experience. So it is seamless for a consumer, and they'll have more of a willingness to go to that specific store versus another one because they know that what the inventory they're looking for is available. So if they're already dominating in search and they're connecting their online and offline, the next strategy is, how do you engage in more paid social? How do you maybe potentially build your own marketplace where now you can curate more products than what you're holding inventory in store, and you can start to expand to be able to offer more in a 3P model versus a 1P that you hold the inventory for. So now we'll go through a couple of specific merchants and what are their success stories. So Magnolia Boutique is the niche boutique, like what we were talking about. So the challenge is they want to drive traffic, they want to drive sales, right? So they have a new season of product, which is typical for apparel and accessories. So they did a really great campaign where they were showing how to wear. So they were doing different styling tips, they were releasing different clothing, and again, showing instead of maybe just a dress, now you're getting the accessories with it. Maybe you're getting a blazer, you're being able to show that one product maybe in multiple looks. You know, how do you go from day to night, from work day to weekend? And the results that they saw on TikTok were astronomical. They were able to take that shopping tab. It was boosting their organic product discovery as well, but you can see how they styled it and they could click straight into the product and then go to purchase it. So it was really great to be able to show these consumers how they can use these products a little bit differently, and that helped them increase their average order value. They had a 40% engagement rate, and if any of you guys advertise on TikTok, you'll know if you're at an 11.5 conversion rate of add to cart, you're doing really well on social. The next example is a large department store. So they wanted to improve their performance of their ad campaign. The issue was that their feed was not optimized for the channels that they were sending it to. So a lot of times when you go to these bigger box stores, or if you're a merchant that maybe doesn't hold your own inventory, or it's not your products, right? So you're not manufacturing it, you're getting that product data from another merchant, and then you're selling it on your site, whether it's online, offline, a combination of both. You're only as good as the data that that brand sends to you. So if you're not optimizing that data for your own e-com experience, or for the channels that you're sending on, either for advertising or for a marketplace to purchase, you're not going to get the best results possible. So it's really critical that merchants are evaluating what is that product feed, what is that data that you were sending to a specific channel. It shouldn't just be a connection and a kind of set and forget mindset. It's something that should be evolving the same way style evolves from season to season. Search queries change from a couple months to a couple months ahead. So it's imperative that you work with a company that's going to be able to give you that type of analytical tools to be able to see what non-branded keywords are performing the best on which channels. Spiceology is an unbelievable spice company. I think if you're making, let's say, ribs, or you want to make an Asian fish dish, typically you're taking 20 different spices. Well, the beauty of Spiceology is they have those all packaged up and ready to go. So it's much easier to be able to have that restaurant quality experience without having to own 20 different spices for one recipe. They have it all right bottled up for you. They also have a unique situation too, because they don't just focus on the consumer. They also have a lot of restaurant clients, celebrity chefs that use their product. So it's a matter of how do they expand for their direct to consumer for us end users that wanted it as consumers, but also their B2B. How do they grow a better business with their shops and the restaurants that utilize their products within their restaurants and stores? So it's really critical that they evaluated what is that product data that we're sending? Does it differ from wholesale to direct to consumer? By implementing Feedonomics, they were able to optimize all that product data, and they were also able to add additional channels into their omni-channel strategy without much lift, because they were able to take that product data and optimize it for different channels. Excuse me. Larg water bottles is another cool kid CBG. So they were projected to go really quickly, but they needed an e-commerce solution that was going to scale as they were starting to grow. So this was a self-cleaning water bottle company, which is great. You can basically be on a hike, take water, and it self-cleans it within the bottle, which is unbelievable. And it's a matter of targeting the right merchant in the right place. So there's different ways people are utilizing this bottle. There's different lifestyles that would be more inclined to own a Larg water bottle. So how are they optimizing their information, whether it's non-branded keywords or the creative that they're using in their ads in the top of funnel to be able to drive the best value to their end consumer, and for the end consumer to understand what this product is, right? I think we've all had a water bottle before, but most of us hadn't had a self-cleaning water bottle. This was a new product that didn't exist. So it's important that they were able to have that customization and be able to have more of content on their site, because they needed to explain the technology of how it worked. So they took BigCommerce and they made it headless, meaning that they were able to have more flexibility, but the store functionality was being pulled in by the back end of BigCommerce. And the results was they had an 80% increase in conversion in just 3 months after launching. Their year-over-year average order value started to increase, and their average revenue year-over-year increased over 400%. So in summary, omnichannel selling is an imperative. If you're not doing it, you should be. If you're interested to understand what is your business's omnichannel personality, what is that type, what's that maturity curve of what channels you should be adopting in what order, we implore you guys to go take your omnichannel personality quiz so you guys can learn a little bit more about what are the best channels for you and what are the tactics that are going to drive success on those channels. We also have a great omni-channel guide where you can download the personalities, you can look at the guide and understand, well, how do you onboard, right? So if you take a personality quiz and you find out you're a cool kid CBG and these are the channels you should be on, these are the tactics that are going to give you success on those channels, but maybe you need to understand a little bit how to onboard. What are some additional tips and tricks that you need? Those are all going to be in our 2022 omni-channel guide to commerce. So please feel free to take your quiz, download your guide. We also have a team at BigCommerce that can do omni-channel consults for you. So whether you need some troubleshooting assistance to connect to a certain channel, you want someone to evaluate your performance that you're doing on a channel right now, or you know you want to add another one, but you're not sure how, we'd love to help you guys out, totally complimentary, whether you're a BigCommerce customer or not. Feel free to go to our site and check it out, and hopefully we'll be able to meet with you guys personally and help your business grow online.
So I think I'll take this from here, Jenna. Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for being so attentive throughout the presentation. I would just like to close this off with the last slide, and this is just to give you a quick overview about how Royal Cyber can help you boost your business with omnichannel services. So if I talk about the expertise that Royal Cyber has, we can provide you with an exceptional customer experience. We have like a proper sales team, a proper technical team who can help you out with all of your fulfillment and activities, and you can earn that customer loyalty from Royal Cyber. You can get listed everywhere. If you talk about all of the major marketplaces and market channels that are out there, you can be placed and get listed on those channels very easily with the help of BigCommerce, Bitnomics, and Omnichannel. Data can be captured from anywhere. So if I talk about how RC can help and map capture your data, it's going to be very seamless and a very easy experience for everyone, all of the merchants that we're going to be onboarding. We have an expert technical team. You heard Pooja, you heard Ranjit, and we have like a good resource team of around 20+ people who are completely equipped with omnichannel strategies, and they would be available 24/7 for your support. And so, I mean, just feel free to reach out for all your omnichannel needs, and we will be able to help you out. And we'll try to make sure that we provide you with the best services. So yeah, that's it. That's all from our side. If you have any questions that you want to ask, please go ahead, and we'll be able to answer them. So thank you so much. So I guess we have received a few questions over here, and I think so. We have our first question. So I mean, Jenna, would it be possible to answer this question? I think this is something that you would be able to answer in the best way. So how many channel types are there in BigCommerce omnichannel? So Jenna, do you want to answer this?
Sorry about that. I think they muted me. So for BigCommerce, it's really our goal to help merchants make it as easy as possible to be able to adopt new omnichannel strategies. So there's different types of channels that merchants can connect to. So whether they have multi-channel storefront, so maybe they've got one back end of BigCommerce, but they're sending a certain inventory to one region or certain products to a different location, and maybe they're settling in a different language, different bank account, different currency. So first is just multiple stores, right, that you could be sending to. Then it could be marketplaces. So this is your Amazon, Walmart, Targets, Mercado Libres of the world, and that you're pushing your product data from the back end of your store, but that checkout is happening on a third party. So you need to port that order either back into your e-commerce store or directly into your ERP or OMS to be able to fulfill that order. Then you might also be sending that product data to ads to be able to, for a consumer to see the ad like Google Shopping, click on it, and then come back to your site to check out. You can also have point of sale. So let's say you want to connect your inventory from what's online to the purchases that are happening offline. You can do that by connecting to a different POS system.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Anna. So yeah, I think we also have a few set of questions now which are lined up. So there is this another question which we have is, what are the requirements for selling on Amazon, and how to set it up in BigCommerce? Does
Yeah,
anyone
so we
want
make
to
it really
answer? Yeah, please go.
Yeah, I can jump in there. So if you want to connect your BigCommerce store to Amazon, you can go right into the back end of your dashboard of your store. There'll be a tab that says Channel Manager. That's where you can connect to all these different various channels. Depending on your products, you'll need to be able to understand, are those products prohibited? Are they able to sell on Amazon? And also there's going to be obviously a seller fee associated, and those are basically based on what type of category of products that you're selling. So that's all available to you on our website to be able to understand how to connect, but basically it takes 5 seconds to connect on the back end of your channel manager.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Anna. And is there any additional cost or extra fee for enabling checkout on Instagram for the BigCommerce store?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Is there any additional cost or extra fee for enabling checkout on Instagram, like for the BigCommerce store?
Yeah. Great question. So there's no additional fee from BigCommerce. It's not going to charge you anymore. There's no like double processing fees that you'll see on some other e-commerce sites. Instagram typically charges a seller fee that's about 5%, or if you have lower price point products, it's about 40 cents per transaction. But Facebook and Instagram are both waiving their processing fees right now till the end of the year. So if as a merchant you haven't started trying to test is checkout on Instagram or Facebook stores are right for you, I would recommend doing it this holiday season because they did waive their processing fees until the end of the year.
Okay, great. So yeah, that's great. I think we also have another question is how long does it take for an order from a sales channel to appear in my BigCommerce control panel?
Yeah, so it depends on your connection. So if you're connecting directly of a native connection from the back end of your BigCommerce store, and let's say you're pushing your product data to like an Amazon or an eBay where the checkout happens on a third party, and then you're porting that order back in, typically it takes about a couple minutes. So you also could be connecting through like a Codisto, or you could be connecting through Feedonomics. So that depends on the setup you have there with a third party like Feedonomics or Codisto. It could be once a day, it could be every 15 minutes. If you have really like exclusive products, let's say you're doing a collab with an artist or something, those products sell really quickly, you might need to do that sync a little bit faster. So those are things you can typically set the time frame within those third parties, but if you're using a native connection, it's pretty instant.
And what would be the best practice for the omnichannel? What should be the best steps?
It really depends on the merchant, right? It depends what kind of products you're selling. That's why we developed this omnichannel personality quiz, because not all brands are created equal. Not everyone's going to have the same success on the same channels. Some people are going to be on Google Shopping before they're on TikTok. Some people are just selling on their direct-to-consumer and TikTok. So it really depends on that merchant. So I'd recommend taking your free quiz to see what your omnichannel personality is, and that'll give you better information on what are the best channels for you that we know will gain the best success for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Anna. So I think there is this follow-up question is it possible to retain the customers with the help of omnichannel marketing? Like,
do you want to take that one? Or you want me to take that one?
Yeah. So I mean, there is this one question that is it possible to retain the customers with the help of omnichannel marketing?
Yeah, for sure. So, like we said earlier, we want to make sure that a merchant has their brand available on as many different channels as possible. Some people are going to check out on Instagram, some people are going to check out on Amazon. Now, if they are checking out on a third party, you don't always get all of that customer data. So it depends on the channel and the user's preference. Some people can opt in to share more information. I personally love to share my information because I want to get the most relevant ads and see the most relevant products for me. But as a merchant, it'll depend on those different channels, what are the requirements, and what does that end consumer say they want to share. But typically, companies with a really strong omni-channel customer engagement are going to retain about 89, 95% of their customers. So it's slightly different depending on their vertical, but typically you're going to see a really great return. So maybe they're finding you first, TikTok made me buy it, right? And you're getting that information. Now you're sending them marketing or SMS that they're opting into. Now they become brand loyalists and now they're checking out directly on your site. So depending on that user flow, there's a bunch of different ways where you can try to keep that customer engaged and extend that lifetime value.
Great, great. And I think there is this another question which I would like to answer, because I think, does BigCommerce have a unified commerce solution, both digital and physical? And if yes, can you share the case studies during the webinar? So yes, BigCommerce does have a unified commerce solution. And I'll just, share the link over here in the chat. Maybe, you guys can go through it. And this would just, be helpful in understanding what it is. Other than that, let me, I think I'm unable to write. So I'll share it afterwards. Okay. And there is this another last question which we have. If I have to build a BigCommerce digital and omnichannel solution for a business, in how many weeks can you make it live with all of the features?
So it depends. It depends on, what are your requirements, right? So, and it depends if you're working with a great agency like Royal Cyber to help you build it, or you're trying to build it yourself. So there are a lot of really great themes that are available where you could be up and running in a matter of minutes. But it depends on the customization and the tech stack for that specific merchant, how quickly you're going to get up and running.
Okay, great. So I guess that's all from the merchants that we have. So those are all the questions. Thank you, Jana, so much for answering these questions. Thank you everyone for asking these questions and being part of this webinar. Thank you, Jana, for joining this webinar. Thank you to all the speakers who have made this possible. And hopefully, I think whoever wants a recording after this call, they would be getting it on the email. Thank you so much, and take care. Bye bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.